In this video, we're going to continue our lesson on encryption. This time, I want to discuss asymmetric encryption. Most people find this topic a bit complicated, but I'm going to try my best to keep it simple. You ready? All right, let's go. In our previous video, remember, symmetric encryption used the same key to lock and unlock the data. Well, in asymmetric encryption, there are two different but related keys that are being used. You have a public key and you have a private key, and they work together. The basic idea is this. If you encrypt something with one key, whether it's public or private, only the matching key can decrypt it. So if you were to encrypt with a public key, only the private key can decrypt. And if you encrypt with the private key, guess what can decrypt it? That's right, the public key. You also need to know that the public key can be shared with others, hence the name public. The private key, however, that's got to stay secret. Only the owner can have and know what the private key is. This is never to be shared, not even with the sender or the receiver of the confidential message. All right, let's give an example of how it works. Let's say you have a guy named James and you have a guy named Mr. Brown. James creates a key pair, one public and one private. James keeps his private key secret. James then shares his public key with the world. Mr. Brown wants to send James a message, so he uses James' public key to encrypt the message. Mr. Brown then sends the encrypted message to James. Once James receives it, he's the only one that can decrypt that message because he's the only one with his private key. Even if the hacker were to intercept the public key and the encrypted message, it doesn't help because without James' private key, the hacker can't read anything. That's powerful because now you can share your public key with anyone without worrying about someone stealing your private data. And because there's no need to share your private key, a hacker cannot steal it during the sharing process. So why don't we use asymmetric encryption for everything? Well, there's a big catch. Asymmetric encryption is slow. It uses a lot more computing power than symmetric encryption. Encrypting an entire large file or a whole network stream would be way too heavy using asymmetric encryption alone. Instead, here's a smarter move we use today. I want you to pay attention to this because we're going to come back to it quite often. We use asymmetric encryption to securely share the symmetric key. Then we use the symmetric key to encrypt all the big data fast. That way you get the best of both worlds, security plus speed. All right, let's talk about asymmetric encryption algorithm. Just like symmetric encryption, asymmetric uses algorithms as well. If you recall, algorithms are the formulas used to encrypt. There are a few major algorithms used for symmetric encryption that you'll need to memorize. You have RSA. This is one of the originals. You will usually see RSA using 2048-bit key for good security. And then you have elliptic curve cryptography, ECC. This is newer and more efficient. It can give you the same security strength with a much smaller key, like a 256-bit ECC key, being as strong as a 3072-bit RSA key. Alright, here's a recap. In this video, you learned asymmetric encryption uses two keys, one public, one private. You also learned if public key encrypts, only the private key can decrypt. We learned it's safe to share your public key. No one can reverse it to get your private key. We learned asymmetric encryption is great for key exchange, but it's too slow for encrypting big files directly. And we also learned RSA and ECC are two common types of asymmetric algorithms. See you in the next one.